Welcome to today's masterclass. My name is Jose Rivera. I'm the CEO of CSIA, and I will be your host today. In the case that you don't know about CSIA, we are a global, non-profit trade association with about 500 member companies in 35 countries. For system integrators, the CSIA Best Practices Manual and CSIA certification are some of the more popular member benefits, but you will also enjoy a variety of others, including professional development, learning from your peers, and access to professional services. Experts, including insurance, financial, and legal, who understand the system integrator's unique business needs. For partner members, CSIA offers an ecosystem to grow your system integration program, understand your customer pain points, monitor industry trends, and share your thought leadership. With thousands of qualified integrators and suppliers, the CSIA Industrial Automation Exchange helps system integrators, industry suppliers, and manufacturers connect and do business. For system integrators and partners, it provides a platform to support your content and search engine optimization marketing efforts. Position yourself as a thought leader and nurture prospects during their complicated buyer's journey. The good news joining CSIA now is that at this point, you get the rest of 2021 for free when you pay for 2022. These are for new members. Get your details on controlsys.org/shine. And at this time, I would like to introduce Ricardo Buranello from Telit, who will be the first presenter for Telit today. Welcome, Ricardo.
Hello, good morning, Jose, and good morning, everyone. It's a big pleasure to be here with you and all the CSIA members. We are a member of CSIA and we see a lot of value on this community. So we really look forward to extend our cooperation with you and with the associates. Okay, so I believe that you already can see my screen. Jose, can you just confirm for me, please?
Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, great. So a quick introduction. My name is Ricardo Buranello. I am the Senior Vice President of Telit and Head of Telit IoT Platforms. A quick overview about the company. Telit is a global company where the only thing that we do is IoT and industrial IoT. Currently, we connect more than 40 million new machines with our technologies. That means one new machine every 1 second. Probably we are one of the largest, if not the largest in this space in the whole world, with people all around the world supporting our customers and especially our system integrators that are partners on the projects that we involve with. The technology that I would like to talk here is about DeviceWise. And DeviceWise is an industrial IoT platform. This platform is in the market for quite some time. Actually, it was originated inside IBM late in 1980s in a product called PlantWorks. And then in 2013, Telit acquired a spin-off of IBM Automation Group, a company called ILS Technologies. And then we bring DeviceWise and SecureWise into our product portfolio. The product is growing quite significantly in the market. And I think this is also a consequence, not only in terms of the quality of the technology that we're bringing to the market, but most importantly, in terms of the momentum that this industry is in. And that's one of the points that I would like to discuss here in this webinar. Currently, DeviceWise is used by 7 out of the 10 largest car makers in the world. Even though I love to use examples in the automotive space because of the level of automation that these companies have and the challenges they face, DeviceWise is also used in many other different verticals. Probably the second most important vertical for us is in food and beverage, where we have customers such as Coca-Cola, Hershey's, and others. Oil and gas, chemical, heavy machinery, connected machines. All these are possible environments where an industrial IoT platform deliver a lot of value, and the companies are significantly investing there. So If you still don't have an IIoT practice, certainly is the time for you to start to think about it, because it's a big window of opportunity for everybody. For you to have an idea, just in Q3 this year, Telit grew 109% on DeviceWise platform. This market is booming. Companies, they understand, especially because of the challenges that COVID brought, they need to invest in this technology because they can get clear ROI on that. And this will be a matter of survival for all the different companies, from the large automakers companies that use our platforms like these ones, to small and medium companies that also can take the advantage of this platform because it's highly scalable. DeviceWise has been awarded several awards over the years as the Industrial IoT Product of the Year, and it is recognized by ABI Research as a leader in smart manufacturing platforms. I like the way that ABI Research summarizes DeviceWise, saying that compared to Kepler, DeviceWise has the advantage in lower latencies. Compared to Foghorn systems, DeviceWise has more advanced IIoT integration capabilities. And compared to homegrown data extraction and edge intelligence solutions provided by industrial automation companies, DeviceWise has more flexibility and more advanced software. So what is the market opportunity that we see out there? COVID brought several impacts in manufacturing. We are facing on a daily basis all these challenges, and every single company, your suppliers, your customers, trying to work around with all the challenges that this terrible disease brought to us in a very disruptive way. Today, we are facing significant labor shortage. It's very hard for you to find new employees. Doesn't matter how sophisticated this employee is, from low hierarchy machine operators to managers. It's very hard for you to hire. It is very expensive for you to hire, and companies in manufacturing that typically employ many people, they need to make sure that they find a solution for that with the technology. Mobility changes is another problem that we see. Typically, system integrators and experts, they could jump into an airplane and in a couple of hours be in front of their customers. Doesn't matter if they're here in the United States or overseas. Everything was relatively close because you had the mobility. Now, this mobility is significantly compromised. And manufacturing companies, they understand that, but they also understand that it's important that real experts on certain machines or process, they can have the access to these machines, but eventually not physically, not there on site. So what is the technology that can help them in terms of retrieving data remotely or acting on something that needs to be fixed? Supply chain disruption. This is what impacts us every day on the news. Now that specific component, if it is the chip shortage or any other shortage, maybe your components are on the port that are not released because you have a big line. And then when these manufacturing companies, they get these raw materials, their window of manufacturing became completely different. Now you need to produce fast. And you need to make sure that you have this situation resolved. How technology can help us with that. And this new geographical strategy. If in the 80s, everybody was looking at Asia and low labor cost economy to manufacture their goods, with all this turbulence that was accelerated by COVID, now these companies, they understand that manufacturing close to their consumer markets is an important part of their strategy. But for you to work around all these challenges that COVID brought to us, these companies, they are significantly investing on automation, on IoT, to really work around that. So we see a boom in terms of automation investments from these companies. So the way that these companies are trying to work around on that is applying new technologies, new automations, more efficient machines, and most importantly, more efficient softwares for you to guarantee that you can have an increase of this productivity, that you can reduce your manufacturing cycles, that you can solve your bottlenecks that are becoming a big problem now in this very challenging manufacturing environment. Remote connectivity, if in the past that was a big taboo among these companies, now is becoming a reality. So manufacturing companies, machine builders, they are more and more using those machines and retrieving the data from the machines that they sell so they can provide a better service for their customers. System integrators, they now have the ability of remotely monitor the process and the machines of their customers and sell this as a service. And yes, IoT is the answer for that, where we can provide a highly secure solution for you to retrieve this data remotely. More visibility on suppliers and improvement of your line throughput is something that became critical for you to keep up your productivity with all your supply chain disruptions. And now, if I am having more factories closer to my consumer markets, that means that probably these factories, they are located in places that labor cost is much higher. I need to produce more with less. I need to gain productivity. And the way to do this is with IoT. And this IoT market, it's becoming one of the most impressive and impacting waves out there. As I mentioned, just our software, just DeviceWise, in the last quarter, we grew 105%, 109%. We doubled the business. And this is not exclusive for us. According to ABI research, in terms of manufacturing platforms, the smart manufacturing platforms like ours, this market will be a $66 billion market. When you think the combination of cellular gateways, edge industrial computing, plus the software, plus services, this is today a huge industry consuming more than $40 billion. Where are you in this reality? Are you taking the chance of really exploring this market? This is the time for you to think in terms of how you can approach this industry, how you can create a unique product and service offering for this market and take this chance. And it is a window of opportunity because companies are investing because they see return on investment. According to McKinsey, there is the potential of reduction of manufacturing costs between 5 and 40%, depending on the level of digital maturity of your customers by applying this technology. And this is seen also in the projects that we get involved with. Just in one large manufacturing company, we could generate 3,000 minutes of uptime with the deployment of DeviceWise in a factory that produces in Alabama 1,800 cars a day. That means $30,000 cost per minute, $19 million return on investment for this factory. And as I said, this is a huge use case for a large company, but even small and medium-sized companies, when they deploy our technology and they can have visibility in terms of how this line is working, predicting failures, improving quality, improving productivity, giving the tools for managers to really see the performance of their line, this is something that is bringing significant return, even for small and medium-sized companies. So let me jump here on a little bit more technical aspect in terms of what is the solution, how we created that, and also how system integration companies could take this to the market as a product and service offering. I would like to start with this picture. This is a factory. Of course, this is a factory, not very different from many factories I've been during the last 20-something years of my career. But what makes this factory in a full IoT factory like this? Certainly, with the different hardware components that you have here, such as a Rockwell controller over there, Siemens 840D CNC here, a PLC over there, an AGV moving parts around, a FANUC robot here, or even sensors and cameras monitoring the performance and the quality and the security of people. This is not what it makes an IoT factory and what brings productivity, or it helps certainly on the productivity, but there's more to be done. When I look at the IT space, I see these factories having different types of software components, such as your ERP, your MES, your SCADA, your databases, eventually even cloud computing doing data analytics. What is important is how you can interconnect all this hardware, all this software with an intelligent layer of communication for you to augment productivity in these factories. And basically, this is what we do. So if you think an industrial IoT platform like DeviceWise, it is basically a software. This software can be installed in any type of server. It runs in a Windows machine, in a Linux server, in a small Raspberry Pi, or in a big mainframe running IBM AIX OS. When you have DeviceWise running there, DeviceWise comes with hundreds of drivers for you to collect data natively from any type of industrial machine. We're talking about more than 300 drivers for you to collect data using open protocols, such as OPC UA, OPC DA, Modbus, MT Connect, BACnet, and more, but also native drivers. So you can collect data from CNCs like FANUC, like Siemens, like Mitsubishi, from torque tools like Atlas Copco, like Ingersoll Rand, from PLCs like Siemens, Omron, Mitsubishi, Rexroth, and more. Leak testers, sensors, robots, we have all the drivers. So now collecting the data from the machines of your customers, it is as simple as installing a printer at your computer. You download the software, you appoint to the IP address, and now I get all the tag tree auto enumerated. And with this data inside the DeviceWise platform, I can create my full application to my customer. Let's say that now I want to collect all this information and put in a database for a historian. DeviceWise has connections for SQL and non-SQL databases, Oracle, Postgres, any sort of database that your customer is using there. So I can push this data to a database and do a historian. Now let's think in terms of a more sophisticated use case. Let's say that you want to connect DeviceWise to the MES system that your customer is using. Maybe he's using the SOA Priso. Maybe they're using Siemens Medic IT or SAP PM or SAP ME, or whatever. Now DeviceWise can understand what is the next part number to be produced. Go to a database, collect the recipe, change the recipe, the setup of a PLC, check with the sensors if the tooling, the raw material, the controller PLC, and the part number is good to go, and then validate the line and start the manufacturing process. I can use DeviceWise to do a preventive predictive maintenance campaign here. I can say, monitor how many cycles these machines went through, and every time that I am above or below a certain threshold, then open a ticket in an asset management platform such as IBM Maximo or SAP, or send a report to my plant manager to say that something needs to be recalibrated, or measure the performance of the machines if a vibration, if temperature is above a certain range, or the quality of this machine is not performing accordingly, then take a decision in terms of asking for somebody to review this, change the configuration of the machine. Everything you configure inside DeviceWise without writing a single line of code. DeviceWise also can communicate to all the different types of cloud solutions, and that's a big opportunity for you. All companies in manufacturing, large and small companies, they are looking for solutions such as Amazon AWS, that is a premium partner for us, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and more, and they are doing data lakes and more functionalities in the cloud. DeviceWise can interconnect all the machines on the shop floor, all your IT systems and cloud solutions in a completely bidirectional way. And DeviceWise comes with a full SCADA, and HMI system. So now you can go to your customer and say, I will create a beautiful dashboard. I'm going to show you a digital twin of your line. I'm going to show the state of every cell you have. I want to show the productivity of every single machine. And now if the productivity, your forecast of production is not in line with your current production, I will send you alarms for your people to improve the productivity as problems happen. You can take this and provide this as a service for any type of company. And I guarantee you that doesn't matter the vertical that this company is in, doesn't matter the size of this company, they are looking for solutions that they can really become more productive. And this is what we do for typical factories. So for connected factories, from car makers such as Ford to food and bev companies like Coca-Cola. But there's another market that I also would like to talk to you today. That is the market for machine builders. While manufacturing companies, they are looking for improving the productivity on the shop floor, machine builders, they are looking at the machines that they sell, and they are asking themselves right now, how can I transform this machine in a recurring revenue for me? How can I sell services on top of this machine? How can I remotely monitor these machines and let my engineers here in the United States or in Mexico or wherever they are to have a remote access to a customer that is in Europe, for example, without the necessity of being there? And the answer can be DeviceWise. So you can load DeviceWise in a cellular gateway. You can put the cellular gateway inside the cabinets of these machines. You can have all the data collection. You can convert simple tablets and cell phones in full HMIs, saving $5,000 to $10,000 per machine, replacing the necessity of HMI systems. You can have a digital twin in DeviceWise Cloud, where you can monitor all these machines remotely. And if you need to fix something, you can open a secure remote access for that, making sure that all these machines can be visible in terms of their productivities and their quality in a completely mobile platform, so you can see these machines as an app. This could be also a product offering for you if you have contacts with companies that are building packaging machines, CNC machines, presses, any sort of industrial machines. That's a real reality for them. And you will be very impressed in terms of how fast you can transform this in an offering for your company to go after this market. So the beauty of DeviceWise is we provide a fully vertical integrated platform for you to do all the functionalities you need from the edge to the cloud, including data collection, edge logic, IIoT integration, SCADA, cloud, remote access, and device management in one single platform. We like to say that DeviceWise has the 3 C's why companies are investing so much on this platform. It is the commonality. We create a transparent layer of communication with all the machines. So now I have a standardization in terms of how I communicate with all different machines and all different types of IT systems. Large corporations, they love it because you have a standard. Now that you did one project, you can literally copy and paste and deploy line by line, plant by plant, making this very quick and practical for you to deploy. And because we have this incorporation of so many features, this becomes by far the most cost-effective solution. So how do I compare DeviceWise with other offers in the market? On the data collection, yes, there are a couple of OPC server solutions like Capper. They have drivers, not as high performance as ours. If you're interested, I can even share a nice white paper that talks about how DeviceWise is a real-time data collection, making factories much more efficient. But yes, on the data collection, maybe there is some comparisons with platforms like OPC servers. But now you want to monitor a certain tag. I want to look at this tag, and if my productivity is not in line with my forecast, I need to take a decision. How do you do that? Today, in DeviceWise, no cost added. If you're using another platform, you start to create a Frankenstein of software on top of software with custom code to do that. Maybe you need to integrate DeviceWise with Node-RED, for example. And now you want to send this data to a SQL database, or maybe you want to send the number of good parts produced to your SAP for inventory monitoring. With DeviceWise, all these connectors are there. Without DeviceWise, good luck with that. Hire more engineers, start another project. This is going to take so much more. Your customer is getting impatient with you. Now somebody came to you and said, I want to have a digital twin of my factory. I want to have tablets in front of the machines for operators to classify downtime. How you do that? You need to buy another platform of software, maybe like Ignition, Wonderware, FactoryTalk. With DeviceWise, all this functionality is inside the product, no additional investment necessary. You want to push this data to the cloud, more custom code. You need to provide remote access. Maybe you need to go for a specific gateway for you to have that. You have hundreds of machines in the field and you want to do device management. You need to have another device management platform. DeviceWise replaces all these softwares with just one software. You can train your team in one platform and do amazing projects, providing this solution to your customers in a very effective way. So what is the offer that you can have? Remember that diagram that I showed, connected factory and connected machine. On a connected factory, you can create this software, having this platform, creating this transparent layer of integration between all the different machines and all the different types of IT systems, offering this complete protocol translation and integration on the platform. And then you can think in terms of the benefits for your customers, such as I can do full integration and automation. I can tell you a story about that. I've been to a very large company that produced medical devices. The way that this company does is they use DeviceWise to integrate a robot with a CNC. So now DeviceWise is looking and tell the robot, pick the part, put inside the CNC. When the part is ready, DeviceWise says to the robot, now pick the part and put in a quality control system, a prober tool that does the measurements. DeviceWise takes these results, define if this is a good or bad part, calculate what is the offset, and write it back to the CNC. In just this example that I gave you, we are integrating a CNC, a robot, a quality control tool, making all the decision fully automated inside DeviceWise. You can do protocol translation. So now a Rockwell can talk to a Siemens, can talk to a Mitsubishi, and so on and so forth. Now you have this solution implemented, you can do preventive and predictive maintenance, calculate how many cycles, calculate what is the performance of this machine. And if something is wrong, take a decision fully automated inside the platform. Feed SAP PM for preventive maintenance or IBM Maximo or whatever, so you can have the machines calling for the doctors when the performance is not good enough. You can have a complete quality control using cameras as sensors or integrating with other quality controls, implementing zero defect programs on your customers. You can use DeviceWise to calculate KPIs and provide rich charts and reports in every single machine, every single line, every single factory, providing all the productivity KPIs necessary for you to run it smoothly. You can use DeviceWise to provide a full IIoT integration. So integrating all the machines with the different IT systems, augmenting the possibilities of that, and integrating with artificial intelligence platforms such as Amazon AWS, IBM Watson. You can even have more sophisticated decision-making fully integrated between the edge and the cloud. So that is one possibility that you can put in your portfolio of offerings and start offering this solution today. You also can think in terms of how to provide remote data collection and remote data remediation on connected machines, where you can provide to your customers gateways preloaded with the software. And now every machine that goes to the field gets monitored by DeviceWise, replaces the necessity of local HMIs, pushes for a digital twin in the cloud where you can remotely monitor all these machines and remotely taking actions back to these machines using the secure remote access available in DeviceWise. So think in terms of the possibility of providing a one-stop shop approach where you can provide from the hardware integration with the edge software, with the remote connectivity, the cloud solutions, and the applications all in one single platform. I'm very happy to announce some benefits that you guys that are CSIA partners you have. We have a training program on IoT called DeviceWise University. This training program costs $2,000. With the promo code CSIA, you get DeviceWise University totally for free until the end of the year. So if you're listening to this webinar, take your chance, take this class and become a certified IIoT professional with DeviceWise. And then with this in hand, you can provide full IoT offers from data collection, machine data collection, IoT integration capability, data visualization, OE, preventive maintenance, and more, providing integration services and full turnkey projects as Telit provides special discounts for system integrators. You can recommend the software or you can buy and resell the software in a full turnkey approach. And we have this very strong partnership program for us to incentivize our system integrators to provide this solution in the market where we can support you through this full journey. Thank you so much for that. And now I would like to pass the ball to Matthew Keever, and he will show a live demo of DeviceWise, showing a little bit of the software capabilities. And then I'll be here very happy to answer any questions that you might have. Matthew, it's with you.
All right, thank you, Ricardo. Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, great. So for all of you, when we jump over into the technical side, what you're looking at right now is the DeviceWise Workbench. So DeviceWise Workbench is a single tool that you can interact with local instances of DeviceWise, DeviceWise instances on your network, as well as DeviceWise instances anywhere around the world using the secure remote access that Ricardo mentioned previously. And not only are we able to run and able to connect to any platform out there or any devices out there, DeviceWise also runs on any type of platform, software, or hardware you're interested in. So I'm going to run on my Windows today. If you wanted to run on Linux, you have that option. If you wanted to run an embedded ARM or a real-time operating system, DeviceWise has the flexibility to run everywhere. And just like Ricardo mentioned, we also normalize the connection across these different environments. So if you're working today in Windows, need to work and then transport that information to your customer's Linux environment or embedded ARM, it's as simple as doing an export and an import on your customer's environment, where DeviceWise really is the normalization, the commonality factor that you can utilize multiple different environments together. Ricardo mentioned our different other drivers for there, so I won't go into too detail on that, but let me show you how easy it is to actually connect to a new device. So all I have to do is specify the new button at the bottom, and I get this pop-up screen that allows me to go ahead and name the device I want to do. It could be a generic device. It could be something as specific as line 24, machine 1. It could be as name of the device itself. However you want to operate, it can do that. Now, in the case of here, if I want to connect to let's say an Atlas Copco DC Torque tool or Ignisol RAN machine or Stanley tools, all I have to do is select the type of device and fill in the information there. Some of the information is already pre-filled in for me, but you'll see this design language within DeviceWise that we try to take as much as work and do it for you ahead of time so you don't have to figure things out on your own, but essentially just fill in the missing pieces. And that goes also into the environment where you talk about non-network devices, such as USB barcode scanners. If you want to connect over to a protocol like Modbus, we can operate in an Ethernet IP environment. We can operate into a serial environment over DB9, RS-232, RS-45. If you want to communicate over a standard protocol like an MQTT or MQTT with TLS, you have that option as well. You can go ahead and utilize an OPC UA, OPC DA server or client environment within DeviceWise. But like Ricardo mentioned, further than that, we also have native drivers for lots of different devices such as CNC machines, Mitsubishi PLCs, Omron, Rockwell, Siemens, ABB, all those different environments we have native drivers for that have extreme low latency, high quality connections to all these devices. So let me show you how easy it is to connect to one. So I'm going to select a Siemens S7 1200 that's on my desk. I'm just going to give it a generic name here. And then the only thing I need to do for this is to enter the IP address. Once I validate this connection, that DeviceWise is telling me that it sees the PLC and it's ready to connect to, no incompatibility problems at all. If I wanted to save it, that's all I would need to do at all. But with DeviceWise, everything is open and you can go ahead and transparent. So if I want to do more options to that, I can go ahead and say advanced parameters and then see more details in there. Edit the specifications, modify it. If I have a different version of a different PLC that's not standard, I can modify the definition to accommodate that type of situation. Now, once I save it here and I go ahead and say start, DeviceWise has made the connection to the PLC and pulled all the information out of it. So if I go over here, you see it now shows up in my data chart. I can expand it, take a look at all the different tags available to it, read it as a byte environment, or I can read it as a bit environment as well. And again, all these tags were automatically pulled from the PLC. They weren't pre-populated, they weren't pre-configured in any way. Our specialty from our long history in the industry is knowing how to communicate with these PLCs from any brand, any OEM on a native driver level. And to show you that here, not just my Siemens S7 1200, I have a Rockwell here I've already been connected to. I can go ahead and read all the data coming off it as well. I can go ahead and say watch. It brings up a little pop-up window showing me the data as it's changing in real time. And as Ricardo mentioned also, we can have different devices sync together without even using our no custom coding environment. I can simply say new here, select where the data is coming from. I'll say from my Rockwell, and I'd say where I want the data to go. In this case, I'll do an output register on my Siemens. That's all I needed to do. Specify where the data is, where it needs to go ahead and save it, start the connection, and that is officially these two registers synchronized together. No need for any form of custom programming at all. But speaking of programming, I'll go ahead and jump in to show you how we do within DeviceWise our no custom coding environment or our visual flow logic. Very popular in industry, very popular in emerging markets as well, where you can simply just, instead of coding your program, you can simply use your mouse, drag and drop how you want to utilize it, and it builds the program underneath for you. One unique thing in DeviceWise, it's not an interpretive program. It actually is a real program being built behind you. Once you save it, it runs it and it puts it in a low latency, high performance environment. So in this case, I'm just going to say data transport for this. I'm going to say I can go ahead and have this trigger be an on-demand one, which means it's manually fired and turned on when I need it to. I can have it listen for information to receive it. I can go ahead and create a sub-trigger that operates as a subroutine, giving me the ability to templatize everything I'm doing. So if you're a system integrator working with multiple companies that have similar or maybe not so similar results, you can have a commonality set pre-built up, giving you efficiency to go ahead and have what you need to do. Simply import what has done before, lightly configure it, and you're up and running very quickly instead of having to build everything from scratch every single time. You can also schedule things out from a periodic basis to a weekly basis if you need to recalibrate a machine every quarter or every shift change. If you want to do any type of scheduling out, maybe reporting, sending information out, you can flush the system of old material. You can do all that's available for you. As well as we also have dedicated trigger events, programming events, if you want to communicate with external systems like Azure, AWS, if you want to integrate into barcode scanners, pull into DC torque tools, all that's available for you to read not only the data at when it's available, but instantaneously as it comes in. So for right now, I'm going to use a very simple trigger called data. I'm going to go ahead and say I want to run this trigger every single time that a variable changes on my PLC. So very simple and easy. if I want to do that, that just tells me there's a new part is done, something has changed. I can go ahead and bring in an expression block. And as simple as here, as its name implies, it's a simple math expression. I can do anything I want. So if I wanted to calculate OE quality, it's as simple as just saying, putting a variable that says good part count. And I just simply divide that by the total part count. Now you see here the input variable has been done automatically for me. I can go ahead and grab that out of my global variable. It's where we can keep things within DeviceWise for any part to access. So let's go ahead and grab my current good value, grab my total value, and I'll say the result should be going to my OE quality value. That's as simple as I need to do. But I can do it not just for an OE calculations, with many other industries can, but because DeviceWise has a connection to the devices directly, I can grab another expression right here and do the same thing for converting data on the fly from the machine. So if I want to say, for this case, I'm monitoring my analog input 0. If I want to say AI, let's say raw for the raw information, I go ahead and select that data right out of my PLC. And I can go ahead and convert it on the fly to whatever I need to. But in this case, I'm converting it from a byte value to a decimal value. And I can simply map that to a local variable right there, giving me a quick memory access to things that are going on. Further than that, I can also take this data and now send it to where I want to go. Not only do I have the ability to send it to external databases, as Ricardo mentioned, all the numerous ones that we connect to, DeviceWise also has a built-in database as well. I can come over and grab this, select the database table I'm interested in, and go ahead and just specify what information is available for me. For timestamp, I can pull it right off our macros. I don't have to do any complication or ping any server, comes right out for me. Converted data, I'll grab it right out of that local variable that I just created. Raw data can come out of my PLC, and the name I can either dynamically pull in or I can simply type in for right now. So, and I could do lots, and that's it. If I wanted to have a program that monitors a device, converts the data, calculates my OEE, and then transports that information to a database. This is the entire program that would need it for that. You can see I did it with less than 2 minutes of work while talking to you at the same time, but I can also do more complex things if I wanted to. If I wanted to bring in a conditional statement, for loops, if I wanted to go ahead and send data off to an external third-party cloud, I can do that as well. But instead of even having to build that from scratch, I can go ahead and bring in one of those sub-triggers I mentioned previously, where I've already done the work. All I have to do is select here, and then I go ahead and populate the data fields. So all the work before has been done in the background for me. I can just bring in this templatized environment and go ahead and fill in the information just as you saw me do previously with the database. Now I'm just sending this data to a sub-trigger that's going to go ahead and do all the information in the background for me and send it up to AWS without me having to redo the work I had done before. I can also do the same thing if I wanted to send up OEE calculations as well. Grab over here, specify my OEE sub-trigger, and I can go ahead and pull that information out of my global variables, just as you saw me doing it before. So grab that there, good parts, bad parts, and then I'll grab my total right here. So like I said, you can do something simple, you can do something complex, but not even 5 minutes of work. Now I have not only the ability to do it locally, I can do it externally, I can do all those different systems combined together. And just kind of show you that here, go ahead and save this, start this trigger up, and that has the system essentially compile it in the background, run it, load it, ready to go. And I can jump over to my database here and show you the information. And to prove it to you, I'll go ahead and clear out the data here. And then you can actually see the data as it's coming in, properly timestamps accordingly to everything. But not only can you do it locally, let me go ahead and jump over to a third-party cloud environment for AWS. If I type in the right topic, let me go ahead and refresh there. Type in the right topic. And then you can see here is the information coming in directly from DeviceWise for the sub-trigger I said I was going to transport the OEE data, as well as I can go ahead and type in the right topic for the Rockwell data. And now I have 2 sets of data simultaneously being collected, transformed, and sent up to a third-party cloud environment right away. But if you wanted to even go further than that, I can also jump over to here within our cloud environment and see where the data can flow. Not only do we collect the data, we do it automatically transportation and conversion on the fly as well. We can do alarm monitoring where you can see the information not just as a data point, but you can see the information as a count, duration, timeline initiative, and a table environment that you can simply export at any given time. You can grab that information, as Ricardo mentioned, as a one platform that can do it all together. I can grab the data sets and then overlay the alarms on top of it so you can see in real time not only the data sets, but mapping the conditions on top of it for everyone to have a contextual understanding of what is going on with not only the data, but possibly the machine. If you're monitoring engines, if you're monitoring power generation systems, having those trends and being able to map and overlay multiple conditions is highly effective for not only helping the system maintain, but also helping to prevent problems down the line, where you can also integrate things for if you want to do non-numerical data sets, file transfers, remote commands that can be issued and done where you can take complex environments, simplify it to a simple multi-select option, fill in the blanks, and that information can be sent to any devices. Or what you can do is have a multiple device option where you can have one DeviceWise environment in your central server where you want to keep all your communication and data within the four walls of your facility. You can have multiple from hundreds of thousands of DeviceWise nodes on the field feed a centralized data point using our remote methods environment. Ricardo also mentioned, we talked about our secure remote monitoring. You have the ability within DeviceWise not only to connect to DeviceWise itself remotely, but you can also access the operating system environment remotely. You can connect to downstream devices as well. So a lot of our customers utilize and integrate DeviceWise into their OEM machine that they have created themselves, primarily so they can see all the diagnostic data, all the information I've shown you so far, but also when there is a problem, they come to the single tool of DeviceWise, be able to connect to that machine either 1 to 100,000 miles away as if they were connected right to it, allowing them to see what's going on within DeviceWise, within the operating system, and also connect to downstream devices like PLCs, DC torque tools, CNCs, if they have the right permissions and pass the right security barriers, they can access that machine with their native tools on their native laptop as if they were connected to it locally, giving you the ability to run updates and all kinds of different scenarios for that. DeviceWise IoT Cloud also gives you the ability to do what you saw me do at the edge, we can also do in the cloud, where you can have the edge and cloud hybrid model integrating into a single platform. So if you take a look here, what you saw me do at the edge was a very simple conversion, not a lot of checking. In the cloud here, what I'm doing is from a single trigger called a cloud trigger, I can then do the math expression, I can convert the data, publish an alarm, I can do conditional statements, publish properties, all that information and contouring to this. If I see anything wrong with this, I can automatically send an email out to whoever should be repairing this machine, who should be aware of it. I can send text messages out, I can say app notifications, whatever is needed to let someone know that something is either running slowly, not running at all, or maybe needs to predictive maintenance in the far future. So you have full integration at the edge, full integration in the cloud in one single platform as well, including also a very unique thing in DeviceWise cloud and edge hybrid is the ability to have campaigns where we can roll out different environments just like the cloud triggers, where they automatically see what's going on the system, and based off the conditions that the device is auto connected with, we can auto provision that device from the time of initial connection. So you don't have to worry about, okay, I have a device, now I have to set it up every single time. If you have 1 to 100 to 100,000 devices, you can have them pre-configured to do nothing more than connect to DeviceWise platform. Once they connect, it can be completely auto provisioned from end to end. So the technician in the field, all he has to do is open the box, plug it into power, and DeviceWise will do all the work for you from then on. Very efficient for replacement of devices in the field rapidly. And then, so let me jump over to here also. Ricardo mentioned that we not only had the data sets, we also have the visualization side as well. So within DeviceWise, we also have a product called DeviceWise View, and I'll show you that here now. I can create a new display right
And
here.
just a quick comment, this part of the product that Matthew is demonstrating runs 100% on premises. So you can run DeviceWise fully on premises without going to the cloud, hybrid with local and cloud, or 100% in the cloud. So this is just depends on the way that you want to configure your application.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Ricardo. Thank you for pointing that out. And you can go ahead and see how would you like to integrate this with the system at the edge or the cloud. With remote access, you can have this completely at the edge, but with the DeviceWise View, you can have this completely edge, but with secure remote access, you can have an operator 100,000 miles away to locally working with a manager or a technician anywhere in the world, being able to see the same screen at the same time and working together collaboratively as if they were working right next to each other. But if you saw here, very simple. All you have to do is select what type of widget you want, select where the data is coming from. In this case, it's my Rockwell, and I can go ahead and see the data automatically. I also gave it a title just to show. You can also utilize what we call states, which are like visual alarms, where I can come into here and say high voltage. I say greater than or equal to just an arbitrary number, say 2500, or I can do a custom one or it's very specific if I needed to. But once this state is created, I can jump over to here to our stylization area, change the background to a specific color. In this case, I'm going to say red. So you'll see every single time this value goes over 2500, the background will instantaneously turn to red, just like that, telling the operator or the manager remotely that something is going on the machine. You can also come over to here and say not just a color, you can also go ahead and utilize an image and either a static or a moving image. And I can go ahead and position this as well so that when it goes over a value, you can see an alarm. Now this could be used for just alarms, but it can also be using for processing on large displays in manufacturing so that everyone can see from a single display or maybe multiple displays on their stations where a specific part is in process. Or is this serial number of the engine in initial assembly? Is it in quality control? Is it in final inspection? You can see exactly as it processes through every single step of the way. And you can also add an animation as well if you wanted to go ahead and say maybe someone's colorblind, maybe someone can't see the colors properly. Images, you can add those animations to really bring someone's attention to what is going on. But if you want to trend the data, it's just as easy as you say, select the widget, select where the data is coming from, and then you can automatically visualize it. Just there, this is what we classify as a real-time data graph, where you can see everything instantaneously, and then you can also change how long of a range you want to see the data. But with every widget within DeviceWise View, it's not just with the states. You can go ahead and specify a custom background for all of them. So you can go ahead and utilize whatever is needed, whatever works best for your flow, maybe your color scheme, color pattern, company profile, line conditions. If you're in a hospital, you have specific color codes per floor, you can match and utilize those systems so you know exactly what you're looking at in a contextual way. You can also go ahead and not only read data, you can write data as well if you have the right security permissions. So I can come over here to show you that quickly, jump over into the analog output of my PLC, go ahead and grab a write widget, and it's as simple as going over here, selecting the same data set, and I'm going to say 128 byte faults written directly to that PLC. No need to do any type of work conversion. DeviceWise sees it, you can operate it on it. But if you want to go ahead and do confirmation, say I don't want to just write it there, I want to confirm it before I do anything, it's as simple as bringing in one of our buttons over here, and I'll just give it a name. I said confirm write to PLC, give it an icon, and I can go ahead and say when this is done, I can go ahead and utilize it, or I can do actually even further. Instead of just writing directly to the PLC, I can, because DeviceWise is running in the background for me, I can go over here, grab over to my voltage environment, and I can go ahead and write a specific value, say 8.9, and you see DeviceWise does the conversion for me automatically on the fly. And I can do and confirm that with a button as well. If I wanted to integrate into direct writing, converted writing, however you want to do it, DeviceWise has the front end and the back end for you to be able to do that. But you can go even further than that. If you wanted to graph historical data, I can go over to here, grab in my information, grab in an array that shows my information here. Say I want to see 10 values out of this array, and I can automatically start visualizing here. I can go ahead and give it a data label. I can see what's going on. And then, but I can also go ahead and grab over a database if I wanted to. Right into here, select the table. Here's the data we just created a moment ago, right away in there. You can also go ahead and create multiple displays if you wanted to. Jump from one environment to say, I want to duplicate the screen right away. Say for, let's say demo 1, save this when I'm here, duplicate it, jumps me right over to here. And I can go ahead and edit this environment right away. So instead of going from one environment to another, and like I said, you can now templatize and move between multiple environments. So you can have a generic one, come over here. Now I'm looking at multiple different systems, multiple different environments without having to redo my display. I just come over here and select a new value. It's that simple. If I want to jump back, I can jump back right here, save it, done right away. But if I want, let's say I want to change this button right here, and I'll say navigate. Now I can go ahead and utilize what we call DeviceWise View triggers. Now, not just what I can do as a visualization, I can add logic to this as well. From any type of events of clicking, unloading, double clicking, mouse timeout, touchscreen interfaces, all that's available for me. And I can go ahead and jump over to here. I can navigate to a specific place. I can read, write values. I can fire triggers you saw me build before. Those sub triggers that can act as a template, I can utilize that, pop, open, and close different screens, jump to large environments, small environments. And if you see these vibration and audio environments, when you move DeviceWise, and it's simple as typing in the IP address from a desktop environment to a mobile environment, you can utilize different sensors and different pieces within your mobile device, such as your vibration motor, your speaker, your camera. So you can build not only a simple display, it's a two-way bidirectional interaction system. You can also build essentially a web application right within DeviceWise itself. In this case, I'm going to pop over this, and I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to jump to this display, show a checkbox, test it there, rather than save it. I'm going to jump directly from editing this display into live mode, where I can go over here, navigate. You can see I can pop up a window right away, what is going on with multiple different environments. No need to change anything from there. Now, you see me build this right here, very quick and easy. Let me show you what it's like if I wanted to show you something that's a little more done. So I did this morning for a customer. Go ahead and drop this up. You can see not only static images, we can do live images as well. This is a simple leak tester for an engine facility. Go ahead and start the process, run the test. And this is going to actually pressurize the system, test the system, stabilize it, and when it's clearing out the pressure from the engine, it's going to give me the results. So I have, here's my leak rate, here's my input pressure, my testing, it tells me the system passed. So we have multiple different environments from there. Very simple and easy to use. Did that this morning, no extra work. Now, if I want to show you something that's a little more timely, I can actually jump over to here and show you some BACnet device. So this would be running off of a system completely remotely at another facility. What's going on? Oh, let me just go ahead and make sure that device is up and running from here. Okay. Make sure they didn't turn this device off on me.
Hey, Matthew, it's very exciting, but we're reaching the top of the hour. So maybe it would be interesting for us to open for questions now, unless you have something else you would like to show, but I think it's a good moment for us to open for questions. Jose, do you want to take the lead here?
Yes, but I also want to be respectful of people's time. We have reached basically the top of the hour. There are a few questions on the Q&A box that people put in there. One is related to the ability to handle safety signals.
Matthew, are you familiar with safety signals and SafeNet?
SafeNet's not specifically, but particularly what safety signals they're interested in. As you know, Ricardo, we monitor emergency stops as a safety signal from many different environments. And some of our customers have more advanced security systems, such as cages that we monitor and interact with those systems. So from that point of view, we interact very well with security systems. And as you know, also our other partners that work with surveillance equipment that we co-collaborate with them, where they do the high-end visual inspection and the data and the people and motion tracking, and we monitor the security gates for them.
Perfect. And let me ask the second question that Billy has been asking, which is the ability to connect to cameras.
Yes, we have a full connectivity to different cameras from the market. We have a long list of drivers for cameras that you can use existing cameras from the market, such as Cognex cameras, Zebra cameras, and more. On top of that, DeviceWise has an application called DeviceWise VI for visual inspection, where DeviceWise can trigger actions in terms of analyzing the images for quality control, for example. So you can take a camera, you can see if the part, whatever you're doing is good or bad, and then based on that, take decisions in terms of accepting the batch, rejecting the batch, calling for maintenance, things like this. So we have this full integration, and Billy, will be a pleasure to talk to you and show you this live.
Perfect. And I think that at this time, I would like to bring this to an end. We need to be respectful. And so I have this concluding slides. First, I will say that this was a great presentation between Matthew and Ricardo. I really enjoyed it. Made me look back to my days of really getting hands dirty and real engineering projects, making me want to go back. But it was very good. So thank you very much. It was also like very interactive. I saw all the questions and answers going back and forth. So like very, very, very exciting. So let me remind those attending the webinar that we have these virtual events on almost a weekly basis next week. And this is for members only. This is like the economic update from ITR Economics. Normally, this is a presentation that we do at the in-person conference. This year, because of the pandemic and no conference, we actually brought ITR Economics twice. And so you will be able to hear from Brian Bolio on November 3rd. There are all these other interesting virtual events. I invite you to tune in and to join CSIA in case you are not a member already. So if you have more questions about CSIA, this is what is available to you to contact us. Happy to have you join. And again, thank you very much, Ricardo. Thank you very much, Matthew, and see you at another opportunity.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure.